Welcome to Transform Housing. I'm Luz,
And I'm Anne.
and today we are excited to welcome the REI Baddies, Rachel Davis and Kate Baldwin. Now,
Woo!
welcome. You are our first duo on our podcast. We are so excited to have you both on. Now, can you tell us how you two connected?
Kate, do you want me to take that one?
Yeah, go for it, please.
Yeah, so Kate low-key slid into my DMs after seeing me on Justin Tumanowski's Deal Sauce.
Yeah.
She watched an episode I did with Mike Jackson about low equity dials and direct to agent, and Justin asked me to call an agent live, so I did. Kate watched the recording of it and was kind of, from what I
It was
understood,
live.
yeah, it was live. So, Kate was like, wow, this girl really knows how to talk to people, is what she told me. And you tried to work with me and Mike Jackson, just didn't work out. And then she started asking me to do a podcast, and here we are.
Here we are. And then it's so cool because Anne was this week, which was today, actually, September 29th. Anne came out. She's our ninth guest. So we've been consistently doing it every week. We interview someone from our community and our network. And it's been working out really well. And we're really excited to be here with you guys too, because this is the first time we're not interviewing someone else and we're being interviewed.
I love that. Yay. I'm so glad that you chose us to be your first.
That's
Of
awesome.
course. Because how else are we going to get you to be a guest after your buddy Ann, Luz?
I think it's already scheduled. I'd have to check. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. I think I already scheduled with you.
Oh, perfect.
I think.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, I really love our kind of, it's a unique way of doing it's not a podcast. I think we're more of a talk show. I think that's really what we've agreed on. We're rebranding as we speak. And I really, really hope that everybody goes and watches Anne's. It's so informative. It's full of so much like knowledge and ideas and suggestions. And it was just full of all of it. I've listened to it twice. So thanks,
So
Anne.
I love that because Anne, is my business partner and I absolutely adore her. I think she, aside from the fact that she is so witty, I just love her sense of humor.
Like being
She makes
mean, Luz. I feel like Luz needs more meanness in her life.
no. It's your sense of humor and it's a dry sense of humor. And I'll tell you what, that I am similar. It just takes me a little bit to warm up. And once I figure out that that's how you operate, I'm like, okay, all right, she can take it just as much as, I can give it. So I think we're there. We're entering that stage. So I still have
This
to
is
apologize
really
sometimes because
cool.
I don't
Look
want to.
at us, women.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So I know that she's extremely popular, but she has such a wealth of knowledge that I'm excited to watch the podcast. I have not seen the interview yet. I need to go in there and watch it
Yeah.
and learn stuff about her that I haven't learned yet because there's just so much behind her. It's like, how Shrek says that he's like an onion,
Keep peeling
right?
back.
That's Anne. She's an onion. You have to
And
keep
now I'm Shrek.
peeling the layers down.
Shrek the ogre. Yay!
Well, you did become a prince, or you are a prince underneath that.
Yeah, underneath all that green, wobbly stomached.
I love it. I love it so much.
Honestly, though, what this is kind of hitting on was something that Kate and I talked about that we saw as like a gap in why we started the podcast or talk show. We're rebranding. Thank you. Like there's tons of podcasts where people like credential themselves. They're like, I've got 6 multifamilies, or like, everyone see how I made $80,000 in my first deal. And Kate and I both joined in December and November of 2024. We did a deal separately 3 months in each for each of us. But we kind of started realizing, like, well, now what? And when we were looking for people, we realized, Kate, you kind of explained that the gap of like being able to get in touch with people who were doing the thing and wanting to make sure we liked them and they were in alignment with who we are. Do you want to talk a
Right.
little more about you with
Yeah,
that?
and I think that really dug into. So when we got started, we both realized that like after you're a newbie and before you're an OG, there is a lot of different pathways that you can take within our community, and it can get very overwhelming. And as it did for me. And I had been in real estate for 6 years. I live in the Florida Keys. I am a high-end luxury real estate agent. but I still could not figure out my niche. Now, I do live in Key West, so it is far from most places where like Sub2 meets or Gator meeting and stuff like that. So my only platforms were online. So I just, went to as many podcasts and many Zooms, but still I was feeling very uncertain about it. And I kind of was almost about to like leave. So I think that for the most part, I don't want anyone to leave. There are so many opportunities within our network. Our community is so well diverse. It's really it's probably one of the most well organized situations you could get yourself into if you got here. So I hate to see people leave. And so I think what we do is we bring on some OGs, and we're going to have some people that are in their first year, and we're going to showcase how they got their first deal. And not only the good, we're doing a lot of the bad. Like, we want to know how you got out of situations, what situations you got yourself into, even if it ended bad. Those are the stories that are going to teach other people that, this does happen, but this is how you get out of it, and this is what you need to do. We primarily focus on squat ups, like meaning squatting up with people, getting involved in your network, getting involved. And if you don't have a network around you, look, there's no excuses. I could have made up excuses and said, oh, I don't have anyone near me. Well, I started a podcast with somebody else that actually we have never met in person. So, I mean, we talk every single day, like as if that we were a married couple. I feel like I am the third wheel. I'm not going to lie. Between Mike and Michael, her husband, and I mean, we're like the threesome now, and we do it all like, that sounds really not like that. Okay.
Stop. We're going to take that and flip it and sell it to the Inquirer. Yay, Luz, we made our money this week.
I was going to say.
Well, anyway, so what? Anne talks about being a prostitute in her films. Go check that out, okay? She's like, I feel like a prostitute. Now I have threesomes with my co-host and her husband, who I've never met in person. So let's just put that out there.
I think what we're getting at, which I love, is that Kate really nailed down what I knew intuitively as a salesperson, which is people feel before they think.
Yes.
And if you're only gravitating to members in this community because you think they've made a lot of money, we all know social media you get to pick and choose
that. It's not real all the time.
And so Kate and I, we're just asking people, tell us, don't show us the highlight reel, show us the other stuff, because frankly, we haven't done as many deals as some of these people, and we want to make sure that we avoid those mistakes and can help others avoid them too.
That is so great. Yeah.
Can I ask you, if money and time was no issue, do you have an idea of what you would like to be focusing on, or are you still finding your way?
I think
Kate,
we've got
you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I think we're pretty narrow on the sense that, we are definitely I want to be like the bridging Sub2, and we want to be the talk show of our community in the sense of bringing people together. But as far as the show goes, we're gonna have series starting next week. We're gonna do it's gonna be called After Dark Baddies, right? After Dark?
Baddies After Dark.
Or Baddies After Dark. And we're going to help. So it's kind of like a little talk show where you present your deal with us, and we're going to either take it or not and JV with you. So we're giving people opportunity to present their deals with us. And we're obviously there's going to be some rules and regulations with that, and you have to submit that. But it's kind of like a talk show where we're going to have like a little paddle and be like, nope, yes, nope. And it's like you have 8 minutes to present it to us. We're obviously going to know about it ahead of time, and we're going to help you. Either we'll JV with you, or we'll find someone to JV with you. So that is one thing we're doing. Obviously, Rachel has her
very,
books.
very clever. I really like that idea.
Yeah, we might steal it.
Oh no, do it together. There's no stealing. We collaborate.
I love that. That's real independent thinking, and it's also using your platform to bring ideas to you rather than you chasing the deals. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
That's
thought,
great.
well, it's so funny because obviously, so when Rachel said that, I imagine Rachel in a black dress, which is sounding funny when I'm wearing, and like heels, and I said, oh, probably not. I was, she's like, well, then I was doing the marketing. She's like, well, let's not make it like, the red light district. And I was like, I had no intention on doing that. We have and the thing about our show is like we're having fun, like with Birdies. She told us the whole idea. I mean, it had nothing to do with real estate, but it gets you to know. I mean, there's a lot of things in our podcast together with Anne that they're not related to real estate. It's not all related to pace. It's not all related to it's life. It's how you see yourself working on a project with someone versus just all business. I mean, when you get into some of these projects with people, you got to like them.
Yeah.
I
I think
make sure that your energy connects.
one of my favorites that we've done recently that we found out is Mike Davis, not my husband, Mike Davis, the sub two car guy.
Yeah.
He did a deal with someone who had ties to the mafia and like didn't know about it. And then it came to head. And so like we're talking about this.
7 cars.
Yeah. I'm like, that is on my bingo card, not one of the things that I'd be like, yeah, that's going to happen.
But yeah, I think that's really ultimately like, we don't really have like a definite end to it. I know we switched it from a podcast to a talk show. So I think that kind of makes it a little bit more explainable that we're not just doing one thing. It's kind of think of the Today Show, or like I like to think of Hoda and Kelly or Hoda and Jenna. That's how I look at us, Hoda and Jenna.
Another thing that we've talked about is with me having this book writing cohort that I start next month. If those people all publish, they're going to need a podcast circuit to talk about their book. That's often something that gets advertised for people who are looking at publishers and such. So along with offering them master prompts for their editing, I'm trying to get together a podcast circle.
Yeah, so it'll be like writing with Rachel.
but like allowing it so that people like Luz and REI Baddies, myself, can partner with the people that are publishing a book. And all of a sudden you've got someone with a really cool topic that you can cross promote. So I really love that idea as well of adding another layer of value to the community to get those stories out.
Yeah, I just want to reel back for one moment for listeners who are going, why are we talking about podcasts? Like, what's that got to do with real estate? And simply put, from my perspective, and feel free to correct me, is what we have been trained, particularly in Owners Club, is social media is your way to raise capital. It's your way to build an audience, raise capital, connect with people. What I love about social media is if you do it well, there's nowhere to hide. It's almost as good as going to school with somebody and knowing them and kind of knowing their parents and kind of knowing their kids. You're like, oh, you went to your daughter's wedding. Oh, you had a new baby. Oh, so it's hard to hide. And that's what builds trust. And that is what we're looking for nowadays. And with trust comes more, like when I went for a raise, I just had a 50,000 gap in something. I put it out 22 minutes later. I had 2 texts saying yes. And actually I had never physically met either of them, but they trusted me, and so they ought, because I make myself really accountable. What you guys are doing with this podcast is you're building your profile as trustworthy people and building your expertise in writing and VAs and shifting high-end luxury homes, and building out through credibility and through audience, a wider audience, in order to help you do stuff. What I think is a really interesting twist on what you're doing is you're JVing live. That is really clever.
Yeah. I'm excited for that to start. I'm super pumped.
I'm going to take it a step further and say that you found a problem that exists in the community that you experienced yourself. We all experienced it, because I was also that new in the community. And there was that moment of, what am I supposed to be doing here? I know I'm a badass, but I'm a badass at my W-2. I'm a badass outside of this community. I don't even know how to do any of my, really cool superpower stuff within a creative community. Like, what do I do here that has to do with real estate? And I was stuck and lost for a while trying to figure
Let me
what
ask you
what
one
that
question
is.
then.
Yes,
Can I ask you a question?
of course.
Oh my gosh, this is such a good. Okay, thank you for sharing that. What do you think, and how did you get out of that? And tell us something that we could do for our community that we're not already doing that would have helped you feel a little bit more directed.
There are quite a few things that, the answer that I would give you that helped me is going to be an unfair answer, and I'll tell you why in a second. But what I now tell newbies coming in, it really has to do with figuring out, really honing in on what is your superpower, regardless of whether it has to do with real estate or not. What is your superpower? Figure that out first, which in this community, it equates to your avatar. What is your avatar? And if you don't know what that, if it's not an avatar that's already listed in there, so what does that look like? What is that avatar? Because maybe you don't connect with the avatars that are listed, but your superpower is something else. Okay, what is that? Then the next one is find out who you need to get to what you want to accomplish. So for me, at first, I was connecting with everybody. When Pace said, connect with 50 people, it's randomly connecting with 50 people.
I
Most
did
of
the
those people,
same thing.
yeah, most of those people, I have no reason to connect with them because they didn't have anything that was going to help me on my journey, nor was it anything I needed. So intentional about who you need to connect with. That's the other piece. And then third, build as many relationships with the people that are going to be able to help you move along in your journey. So that's what I tell newbies now. Now,
So how
who,
did you
and
find your niche?
well, because honestly, I had a one-on-one with Pace. So that's why I said it's unfair to say that one. Through Owners Club, I had the opportunity to sit down and have a one-on-one with him. And again, the guy is his superpower is to see you and really see you and know what you should be doing. He can see you. And what did he say? He saw me and he saw in me what I was not seeing in me. Okay. And so when he highlighted that, I kind of went, wow. And he's
Oh,
like, this is,
we need to have her on. We can totally go into that. Like,
yeah. Yeah. So that he saw in me what I wasn't seeing in
okay.
myself. And at that point, I realized what I needed to do and how I could use my superpower to help others. And that's really what it's been. Now I've been connecting to people and I am really good at helping people, connecting people. I'm a really good connector. And I think that that was one of the superpowers. And after that, it just kind of all came after that. So anyway, it's not about me. This is about you ladies. So I hope that was the answer that you
No,
were
but
looking for.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That is so special. And I'm sorry, my kid likes to tell me find my phone when I don't answer her after 30 seconds. So she does the find my phone, so I can't stop it unless
No
I
worries.
say I'm on a podcast.
So yeah, so
But
that's how that happened. And that's what I would like to do. I like to do with newbies who are lost, not knowing where to go. But I'll tell you what, that what you're doing and how you're setting up your talk show and what you're doing afterwards is perfect for Orbit. For those who are new to the community, and then they can meet with you and then you can orient them to Orbit with somebody now within the community. Because that is for those who need that connection, that hand holding, the connect with somebody who's already doing the stuff.
yes.
Amazing. And you guys could be that conduit to take them to where they need to be with who they need to be.
And one of the things that I'm doing to try to build on that so that we can connect to better people, again, like my husband and I are both an OC as well. Every week I go through either the top 20, like 20 people from the top or 20 people from the bottom, and I just make my way into the list in order to schedule one-on-ones with them. And during every one-on, I'd say probably like, I don't know, maybe like a third of people respond to me. But every one-on-one I have with someone, I try to refer them to two other people based off of what they told me that they need help with. So I'm trying to, not trying, I am establishing myself as someone who knows people who are doing the thing and not just talking about doing the thing. And I've always been very forthcoming with my network, and that's something I want to be able to provide to people who really want to do this.
I do
That's great.
what I admire about what you guys are doing is when you enter this community, it's really I feel like there's a real urgency. Do deals, do deals, do deals, do deals. And I have underwritten maybe 200 deals in the past 6 months, and they're all useless. So and I'm not saying all deals that come across are used, but as a relative newbie without any particular, nobody's giving, I'm not getting funneled. These are just normal average deals. And let's say 4% are any good. So when people are doing deals within the first month, I'm like, you're either long in the tooth in an outside the community in real estate, or you're doing really wild random things, and good luck. I really hope that it's not going to cause you a load of trouble a few years down the line. And I think there's a real what's the word, like urgency,
There's pressure to perform quickly.
pressure to perform quickly. And I am loving this because I think there's a professionalism that we can bring, which is like, calm the F down. Let's do strategy before we do tactics. Let's think. And also, if we are going to crack some big ticket issues like affordability, like making creative finance more mainstream, all this kind of stuff, we're not going to do it deal by deal. So some of the stuff that we're working on is very highfalutin, and I think it's going to take it's going to take us about 2 years before we really have a decent sort of track record in it. And part of my pressure was like, oh, but it'll look like I'm doing nothing for 2 years, so I must do some random stuff, which is so childish. And I'm loving this sort of celebration, respect for, no, I like what Pace is reframing this as this is an economy.
Mm-hmm.
There is real need in the economy to get deals done. We all still have to get our everyday money, but we don't necessarily have to do it in urgency. I get some of my everyday money from companies I set up years ago that are paying me little bits and pieces of money. It's not enough to keep going, but I'm like, yeah, I have to stop myself from it. So I love the fact that you guys are thinking more creatively about how do we create a sort of a professional services machine within this community.
Thank you for recognizing that.
That's really it's a nice perspective. Thank you very much.
Don't get it twisted though. We're definitely trying to figure out how to use affiliates with this so that we're
going to make money. I mean, don't get me wrong.
But that's what professional services does. Yeah. It is about working like through books, through affiliates, through the reach of your podcasts, and the icing on top is JVing.
Yeah, and we enjoy it. I think it's a fun thing to do too, and it just, this community has a tendency, like, you're alone a lot sometimes. Or can be really captivated into your own, like, 4 quarters of your home. Even if you live in a place where there's a lot of other folks. I mean, being a real estate agent, it could get, especially you can get, in your head. So I think we're having a lot of fun, and I love it. I like to meet, really, we're really able to meet some super interesting people, and it's just been a really amazing journey so far. We are so blessed to have the guests that we've had on, obviously, like
well, Kate, brag on yourself about that a little bit. Like, let's talk about when this started and how far, like, you and I have been able to get this based off of you just like being a machine. Like, we just put out episode 11, and what are we booked out till?
We are booked until the end of, January, right?
Wow.
15th or something.
Yeah, it's we're very close.
Yeah, so yes, I do all the marketing myself. We're rebranding, so hopefully that'll be out. My goal for myself is this weekend because I'm learning a completely new program. But yeah, so thank you. I mean, we definitely have put a lot of energy. It's definitely not easy. We spend a lot of time on this right now, and because of that, though, we have opened a lot of doors where I have a good amount of capital raising already under my belt, just with partners that I've worked with in the past, clients I've worked with in the past in the real estate, friends, family. I do live in the Keys, so it's quite an expensive place to live. So there is a lot of money to be made, and the real estate market in the Florida Keys definitely doesn't have a return on your investment like other places do. So it's captivating to people. And what you said, Anne, about being able to be accountable, like when you go from being an agent and all of a sudden I'm raising capital, people are like, what? And so that transition is actually being very much like that accountability, that just notoriety. Thank you. because I'm like, look, go watch this. And like I told Joe, go watch Anne's. Like, this is what we're doing. And then we dug into your stuff that you sent us.
Can I share another thing with this and
Yeah,
why?
oh, please.
I'm sorry. I feel like you guys don't even get to ask questions because I'm like, I want to share all this cool stuff we're doing. So I got LOI Blaster and went to a couple of Myron's sit downs and realized everybody comes at this like, I'm an investor. And I'm like, you've been doing this for 20 minutes. So I took Kate and I's LOI, and it's literally our REI Baddies is the header. And it starts off like, it's a great day to do real estate. Kate's a
I'm
agent
an
in
agent.
Florida. Here's her MLS number. I'm an Army veteran. I get probably a 50% hit rate because people are either like, because we position it as
We're
we're
being real.
podcasters.
You're not an investor. You're not even sure how to invest. Just say, hey,
Right.
my name is Joe. I am new at this, but I've got a heck of a team out there. Or not like that, but just say, look, I work in a network full of people very interested in deals like this. Just being honest and not being repetitive, like just a robot, it will
It's
get you
also helped
further.
because I've used the buy boxes of previous guests.
Right.
So I already know when that agent calls me back that I have an end buyer that we can either wholesale or JV with. And so to me, the smart part on this is I can literally say to an agent, or Kate can say to an agent, hey, we work with people like Adam Catledge, Michael Manatz-Dakanian, Trevor Hicks, Robert Zizgetti in your area. Feel free to look them up. Also, on the bottom in our signature block, I include our podcast link so they can go look it up and
All
see.
these individuals. So,
And
but they can also get that from our podcast, because in our podcast, we are asking everyone what they need, what they're doing. So, like Anne's projects were being very promoted, so someone can watch it and go, I want to work with Anne. So it's kind of like it's a complete circle of relationship building.
Yeah.
You know, so we're not just benefiting ourselves. I mean, I think ultimately, you know, we just started talking about, you know, making money on the show. I mean, and all the money is going to go back into pretty much marketing and my hot pink, you know, she's getting a hot pink jumpsuit for Christmas with REI Baddies on it. And no, just kidding.
Kate keeps saying that that's what we're going to show up to squat.
Oh, yeah. And so is Eric.
And so is Eric
was on our show last time. Eric was on our show, and yeah, he's getting one too.
But
So I love that. I love that you're whenever we talk to somebody in this community, it's all about like you said, the real estate, what they're working on. But your transformation was not about moving from one thing into the other. It was that your platform is the podcast, your talk show, and your real estate is happening through the talk show.
Mhm.
This is your platform. This is your now I can't think of the word, but this is your avenue to the investing. It's all based on podcasts.
It went back to like what you guys said on the front end. What can you bring the community? And I didn't even come as an agent. So I was like, I know what my strengths are with book writing and being able to crank it out. And so it's kind of, and then again, Army officer, very much, Kate will attest to this, like project management focused. So it's,
yeah, we were talking about that earlier, remember?
But like Kate refers to me as the project manager for her brain. And so like,
And what do you think about that?
But like, it's cool because we're being authentic. We're both interested in real estate. We want to work with the right partners, and we needed to find a lightning rod that attracted those people to us and in turn, other people in the community.
You know, I was telling Rachel earlier that I was a wedding planner, so for 15 years. So I'm actually an artist, designer, and my brain is that type of brain. So imagine a wedding planner. So I went to all these conferences, and like Rachel was like trying to say, oh, look, you know, when you got started, you just started reaching out to people. Like I mean, Justin T from Steel Sauce, I just called him and we became friends. And that's how I met Rachel. And that's why I was able to text him immediately after that show and say, connect us. But like when I was a wedding planner, I hung out with the who's who. And I am a little island girl from the Keys. My dad retired from the post office. We had 6 kids. Like we lived in I think it was like 1,300 square feet total for 8 people, downtown Key West, you know? So it wasn't like I was like set up for all this, but like, I just know how to talk. So I would go to all these events, and there was a gentleman by the name of Preston Bailey, and he's one of the biggest florists in the world. And I was telling her how in that space, an artist tends to have a lot of, like, I would say, budget control problems, right? So I'd figure, oh, let's put a flower here. And then that was $10,000. Well, Preston Bailey did that 3 times. And my point is, the reason why I think I've always prayed for somebody to like kind of come in, it was like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if someone just came in and like project managed my mind and my everyday projects? And honestly, if I couldn't ask for a better co-host, and that's kind of what it is. Like I bring in all this, yeah, I'm excited, I'm bright, I'm vibrant, but then when it comes to boiling down everyday projects, it's like that when you go to it's like that when you do, and that's why I think squatting up with someone in this industry is so important. And that's why I've always done it. I've had 4 deals, and every single deal, even as a realtor, I have done that. I have JV'd with someone that was an OG so that I took care of my client first. It wasn't about me. And I think that we need to make sure that people realize that we're a network of people, and we're like, what is it? Like you're as strong as your weakest link. So if we're in a community and people are not JVing at the beginning or squat upping at the beginning, then you can really create a downfall in our network. So that's why I feel like when we're talking to people, we're expressing, like, I probably could have had $100,000 more in my pocket. But you know what? My clients were more important to me than messing up those deals. So, and I'll still, to this day, I think that I don't want to do things alone, you know? And honestly, I think that it brings, so we were talking about some deals that Rachel and I are working on. And I said, well, we'll JV on all these because it'll leave us more space to do more, right? If we do it together. So I think that space that, you know, coming together was important, but that's also a fact in this network in general, is don't feel like you have to go at this alone. There are so many people that want to help you. And if one says no, go to the next. You know how many podcasts that I was on live that I didn't enjoy, or felt like you said earlier that it wasn't my roadhouse? I just click and went to the next one. They don't know. You think they remembered that Key West Kate got off one of their podcasts? Just don't watch it. If it's not in your house, it's okay. I mean, be honest, be real, be truthful, and you'll find your way.
How could people JV with you? How can they get into your ecosystem? What's the best way? Or tell me a number of ways people can engage with you guys.
So I can start. I know Kate's working on our website right now.
Yes.
So once we have that, we're definitely going to promote that more. Kate, do you want to talk about where your IG?
I think you just submit it to, once we get our submission, we're going to have a forum, like once
for now, though. For
now, I think just email us.
At the REIBaddies.com.
The REI Baddies.
At gmail.com.
Yeah. Or you can
so
Instagram us.
Hang on, guys. I'm Simon. Cut this because I'm not after the give me the final wrap up stuff. Talk about what you're looking for with JV partners, and I'm not trying to wrap it up. Just to tell the world what you're looking for. What sort of deals you're not. If you don't know, that's fine.
50. We need
Let me lead you into it. Let me lead into it, and then so we can do a clean cut and start here. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned that different deals that you've been doing and deals that you are working on together. So you haven't really talked about in detail what it is that you're working on. So tell us a little bit about what types of deals that you're working on and you want to do. And then maybe we can get a little bit more information out there for anybody who wants to bring you something.
Okay.
I'm going to start first, Kate, and then you can
for it. Go,
perfect.
yeah.
So I'm currently looking to buy and hold in 5 core pad split market, Charlotte, as well as Atlanta, Tampa, Raleigh, and Orlando. I have very strong partners. We have very strong partners. I'm still getting used to that whole we. I was a solopreneur for a long time. We have strong partners that we can work with either to wholesale those deals or to potentially JV on them. So that's a primarily what I do on the sales part of it. Kate, you want to talk about what you're also doing?
Yeah, we have a client looking for a multifamily up to 4 million. Like, I know it's very specific, but Tampa area. So I have reached out to some sub two folks. I mean, today is September 29th. So I obviously we won't be published that day, but we do have $4 million. He'd like it to be kind of a fixer upper. But we are looking for if anyone has a deal that, we also we are working with a gentleman out of Okeechobee, and he has the lot, and I would love somebody that would really like to partner with us, or we'll figure out the logistics later. But there's opportunities to do up to 3 RV parks. This is even before Pace's RV park trend. We were working on all these, so we have a gentleman out of there that we've working with, and I think for our JV for the RV parks, it's more of the experience of how to build one up, and then from there, I don't know exactly where that would play in. So, I mean, obviously, someone that wants to put together a luxury.
More an operator, looking for more of an operator.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we have the
Okeechobee,
funding.
where is that? Okeechobee, where's that?
So
Florida.
it's west of
Florida.
West Palm Beach.
Okay, so it's Florida. Got it.
Oh, yeah, I'm in Florida. So, and then
Okay.
we also have, but I think those are the 2 big things that I'm working on right now. We're always working on stuff as far as I would love to find our guy a multifamily in Tampa. That would be awesome. And I also have money, like I have somebody that wants to work with Anne. So hopefully we can talk about that later too. And
I think
let's start there.
one of the things I like to say about Kate that's funny is a lot of people, I think, what's funny about Kate and I is I started in sub 2, Kate started in Gator. Most of my deals have been lending, and most of her deals have been wholesale.
Oh, no, they all have been. I did wholesale and foreclosures. My foreclosure today, he's finally moving out today.
Oh, wow.
Since December.
Yeah. But what's funny
with JV with the pick, I did squat up with the pickles. I didn't want to say GV anymore. I was supposed to say squat up with the pickles. So today is the day. Hallelujah.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I might have an answer for your RV ground up, by the way. So we can talk offline.
Perfect.
Love that. That's honestly, I want something by Friday to propose to them. So cool. It's a huge opportunity because he's got a ton of land and he wants to make 3. And this one is particularly going to be across the street from a Bass Pro Shop, which is huge.
Well, it's already got a bunch of like branding.
Yeah. I mean, Guy Harvey reached out to them, but I was like, I don't really think you need that. But because branding's obviously my forte. I got to look at the Guy Harvey. Guy Harvey is a t-shirt shop, guys. He does all fishing shirts and stuff. So I know Florida is different than, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities. Like I definitely have access to, if you guys have some great deals, I have some access to some capital. That's tricky right now. I don't really have a definite answer on what they are interested in doing, but hey, if you got something out
what
there,
I think is really interesting. What I think is really interesting is if people bring deals that are interesting, you can find the market. I think if we all stay really narrow and we get really tiny, we just narrow. But if we stay open, you can go and talk to funders about, hey, what about this? Never thought about it, but it looks interesting. Bring it to me. Yeah.
I mean, you can bring us anything. Look, at the end of the day, we kind of want to be that platform where people can kind of come and talk to us. And like you said, like be that connector. We're obviously connecting people online on our platform, but I never not answer my phone. So my phone number is access. You can look up Kate Baldwin anywhere and it'll show up. I know a lot of people in our community or network, they don't have they don't put their phone number out there. That's fine. I'm just used to being very public about that just because as an agent and a wedding planner, I mean, I kind of had to have people call me. So I'm not secretive, and obviously I am open. You call me and you have any questions, you're stuck, call me. because I wish someone would have said that to me. Like, just call me. I don't even know. We can have a 20-minute conversation.
Oh,
And
Kate, you don't have any 20-minute conversations.
okay, we'll probably have a 2-hour conversation. But and you'll probably be like in my living room in a month because we'll go fishing. But that's who I am. Okay. So yes, I am a very oddball, but I am like the hospitality. Come on, people, bring it on. Because you
I
never
think
know. You
one
never
of
know
the
who you're going to talk to, by the way. Hey, that newbie could be descendants of like some smart person. Who knows, right? I mean, you never know who you're going to talk to. My
I
point
think for me, one of the things that I'd really like this to evolve into is I know for me when I joined Sub 2, my MSA suggested I go to the Daily Dial. I'd really like it if at some point it was like, you need to go to the Daily Dial. And if you want to start learning about who's doing what and how ethically, you need to watch REI Baddies. That's what I would like. I think
I
that would
like
be,
that word ethically. Like,
yeah,
I really want to focus on ethics and standards for
particularly because wholesaling is such a big part of newbies' journey. And it's really easy for things to go sideways in a time where people are already hurting enough. I
struggling.
want to make sure that you're taking care of them. So if I can play a small part in that, I would
Yes,
love that.
that's huge.
So we've talked about how you have come together to create the talk show and what the result and why you ended up here and why your focus is this. So what did it take for you, or what was that mindset shift that you both had to come to the realization of what you were going to provide?
Yeah.
What happened there? Because you started at the beginning of we're kind of lost in here, don't know what to do, and now you are providing the answers and the solution to
So
that.
weird.
So what happened? What happened? What happened? Yes, what was that mindset shift for both of you?
Kate, you want to go first and then I'll go?
No, you go first.
Okay. I think for me, I've been really blessed to have a lot of people in my life that saw something in me even before I did. Even my financial advisor. My financial advisor, when I quit my W-2 in nonprofit space about a year ago, he was like, well, when you do this, you're going to have, after a couple months, you're going to have another person. You're going to have your own like person that does that for you. And I had always looked at things like, oh, that's not me, right? Like, I grew up in a military family. I have a gun that was in the Civil War that belonged to a family member. We raise soldiers in my family. That's what we do. And so for me, leaving the military and leaving government, I was really wayward for a while. And Kate's probably one of the first people where I'm like, oh man, I gotta keep up. Like we're doing stuff and like she's going at a rate where I'm like, oh, I gotta shore up this in order to make that happen. And I see she's so invested in it that I can't not be successful with Kate. And so it's such a different shift when you're like, I'm not pitching this to people. Kate and I are doing this. I don't need your approval for it. Um, I want to spend my time working this with her because I see the potential in it and I already see what it's doing. And I think a lot of people cheat themselves of that because they don't think they can actually do it. And Kate lets me know I can.
Oh my God, that's really nice. I mean, I kind of said it earlier. I don't need to go back into that, but just how like the whole mindset for me is being able to have someone that I can like literally tell everything. I mean, I'll like text her and be like, can you just add this to the calendar? Like, this is da 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 da. Like every idea I have in my brain at that very blah moment. And
That's
it
why we
doesn't
have
matter
Slack
what
now.
time it is, but she does. And then I'll do the work or we do it together. Like, and it's finding those programs, like we're working on different programs together, like how to communicate with each other. We've never had a dull moment. But like just creating systems too. Like I think that we forget that we're entrepreneurs in this business and creating systems is really important. So utilizing systems and kind of focusing on how we can better communicate and how we can better ourselves for our network. But I think the aha moment for me was someone saying yes. I just needed someone to say yes. And I didn't ask that question to anyone. I wouldn't have. But I think that when I asked her to do this with me, I sincerely meant it. And I knew the potential that we both had because we were so opposite that it just, I don't know. I took a chance. She took a chance and it worked. I mean, that's really bottom line.
I actually kind of like that it's just someone had to say yes, because I think of how many people are afraid to pick up a phone because they're afraid of the no. But the reality is, if you just frame it as, what if this works? What if I say yes? Like, that's such a cool way to view it, Kate. I'd never heard you say that.
Yeah. Well, and it's like failure, right? How many times have I failed? I mean, no one really knows my story, and we won't get into that, but I've failed big, which I haven't spoken of and I'm not ready to. But it doesn't matter how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up. And in our industry, it can be tough. There's a lot of check boxes to check in every transaction, and no one is expecting you to know everything. And that's why I love our network, because no matter where you are in the world, you can definitely reach out to somebody and they will help you. And that platform, hopefully, our platform will show that. And I hope our platform will show that everyone is just human. We all put on this, we're all brush our hair, we all take showers, and we're all the same. Because one person makes more money than you, or one person has better deals than you, it's all irrelevant. I mean, we're all human. So I think at the end of the day, I think we can really just focus on that, just making those calls, and just, I think that's, I'm excited to see where we go. I'm really excited to see how our platform grows. Yeah, and we're always open for suggestions too. So
My takeaway, my feeling takeaway from this is how brave you guys have been. And bravery isn't always, yeah, it's definitely a bravery thing. And I'll tell you why. It's a bravery to invent. And for you to ask Rachel, Kate, and for Rachel to go, well, military, but this isn't, all that bravery, which led to, let's do something different. I really thought we would be on here talking about REI Baddies. We're focusing on this thing. Here's our buy box. Let's do this. And what you're doing is you're creating a new service in an industry that is kind of making it up as we go along. We're and it's really powerful. We're leveraging social media, we're leveraging relationships and communities in completely different ways to do things kind of under the wire. What I love about this, and God bless America for this, it's like so much under the wire opportunity. So we don't have to keep dealing with banks. We don't have to keep dealing with institutions. I don't know how much longer this will last in America, but it's well worth defending, because
now,
it does not last. It's not like this way in Europe. And this means we have the freedom to invent and create and just about keep ahead of the establishment. And there's no better place to be. And what you women are doing is, you will, if you can get this to have traction, momentum, you will accelerate this by a number of years. And I'm really impressed with what you're building. And I'm really impressed, somebody who gets their kicks out of the spirituality of it all, this is such an intuitive response. You have let this evolve, and you're working it out, and it's clearly from a place bigger than you. It's not you trying to jigsaw, well, Justin said this and Anne said this, and you're just going, man, this is kind of coming. So I love that, because I always think it's destined for success.
Thank you, Anne. That means a lot.
a lot.
I love you too. Oh my gosh. So, a really quick question, and we've gone through a lot already in this time that we've been together. If you could give one line of advice to your day one self, what would that be?
So for me, I had a lot of I've always compared myself. I was in a sales culture before for many years, in a CRM where it was like red, yellow, black, or I'm sorry, red, yellow, green on if you had hit your numbers, and you could see where everybody was on the leaderboard, like when you logged in. And because of having a military background, and not just a military background, like being in the 82nd Airborne Division, like being a female paratrooper and then going and being a psychological operations officer, like those are very masculine, male dominated areas. And for me, giving myself a little bit of grace and being like, look, just because somebody did their first deal whenever doesn't mean they did it right. Like, and it really doesn't have anything to do with you, Rachel. Like, and it's partially why I think I got really blessed to do my first real estate deal on my way to Everest Base Camp, which allowed me to have the kind of story that I could use to write a book. Like nobody else in the community did that. I did that.
You did that.
And when I started realizing, like, yeah, no, that's actually like a pretty cool thing to do, Rachel. Like, it wasn't just like what you did on a Tuesday. I started feeling like I deserved to be in the rooms with the same people that were doing all those deals that I had been comparing myself to beforehand. So, my biggest takeaway would be if I could talk to Rachel December of last year, I'd say give yourself some grace and don't be measuring yourself to other people. Oh, you have it. Bring it to
Yes,
me. I'll find it.
I will. So speaking of the book, I'm just going to plug you in right here. I love your writing, Rachel. I honestly was reading through. I'm like, okay, does she use the ghostwriter or is she this good? I
She's
love
that
it.
good.
It's so personal.
So
It's
good.
great. I absolutely love it. So check out Rachel's book, The Climb. Yeah, love it. So wanted
Thank
to
you
plug that in
so
there
much.
for
Thank you. Thank you.
you. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
I mean, I would tell myself I'm a badass, and I got this, and I did. So I always knew that. I mean, I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm not trying to be egotistic. I I have a tendency to over study and overdo things, over Google, over this. Just my thing is stop, pick up the phone and make the call. And that would have been my first thing was stop reading about, I mean, I like to print paper, which is probably bad for the environment, but I don't use straws, okay? And I don't use certain things and I recycle. So yes, I like paper, okay? So I would literally print everything. And when I tell you my kid, and I had sticky notes everywhere for 2.5 months on everything Gator, okay? So I think that it's good to do the education. Just don't become psychotic. And while you're doing it, start making those relationships. I didn't start making those relationships until I got done studying. When, okay, whatever, I was following the lead. But the reality is, pick up that phone. Don't be, because that first phone call for me was scary, even though I can talk to a wall. So, you're only going to get better if you try it, right? I think that's like a fear. Like I remember Googling, and that's why I was so attracted to Rachel's conversation. I took it, I like recorded it, then
This
I
is
put
wild
it
to
into
by
a
the way, that
transcript,
you did this. This
and
is
then I
wild.
Googled it, and then I said, how many other ways can I use Rachel's script? That is my brain, okay? Look, all from that one conversation. So yeah, I like to overanalyze stuff. But I think that you can do cold calling with people in the community. If you're nervous, call me. I'll sit and cold call with you all day long. I think we don't talk about that as much as we should. Also, like as a realtor, we would sit there and hated it, but cold calling. So yeah, I think picking up the phone and just making those calls and not being afraid to talk to somebody else that's doing what I want to do and
That's
waiting too long.
one more piece of advice I would give people, and then I promise I know we're over and I want to
Well, we
respect.
also have a 3:00.
Oh, that's right. Oh gosh. And no, I've forgotten it because we have the 3 o'clock and it was more important. I'm so sorry. That's someone else's time. I'm so sorry.
No, oh my God. This is like, I really, really like, I'm so happy I got to, I mean, I've already met Anne and you're just amazing. I can't wait to hear all about your time with Pace because I know we're a little late. Can you text him?
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. But I really want to say this. So I met Pace at Clever Summit in Miami, and that was the first time I'd ever even heard about creative finance. I went there because Ryan from Million Dollar Listing was there, and I was like, oh, I'm a realtor, and I saw luxury real estate, and my daughter was with her dad. He did that with somebody Pace took somebody out of the audience and did that hypno reading thing. So then I thought, for real, you're a cult. So I'm like, all these people walking around with these ugly sub-2 outfits on. And I'm thinking, how are these people so professional in their t-shirts and jeans and backwards hats? And come to find out, he is the opposite of that. And I learned very quickly, Pace and I have a lot of similarities as far as like faith in our family and like I couldn't be happier. So don't judge a book by its cover is my point. But I am dead serious. I want you to tell us details on how he did that because I'm so fascinated. I actually wrote him an email. I wanted him to do that to me.
It was a treat. I'll tell you, it was very special. But I know you guys are running behind. Thank you so much for being on. I thoroughly loved having you on, talking to you ladies. I can't wait to get invited to REI Baddies After Dark. I mean, if we heard about the threesome here, can you imagine After Dark?
Oh, we're doing it, man. Now, okay, so let's set it up. Let's set up a 4-way so we can talk about Anne's project and our client Joe.
Oh
so whatever you guys need. Tomorrow I'm good. I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
Love you. I'll reach out.
I'll reach out. Yeah, we'll
because I'm dead serious. He's dead serious.
Oh, well, that's great because we want to change the world and I don't have years and years. I want to do it in like the next 7.
Well, no, let's talk about it because I do have a shit ton of questions for you because I did break down all your stuff. You know, I did like down to like a 7-page report. So I just have questions.
We'll connect. I relate to you because I am also a paper person. With
I got binders. Sticky notes everywhere.
Yep.
Oh, I did make this binders today.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
The love of all that's good and holy.
This is going to be the Bible for the show because I feel like my brain is like, I'm like, girl, we got to make some money.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much for being on.
All right.
Loved it.
Talk soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye.